Okay, so my turkey has been in the oven since about 6:37 this morning at 325 degrees, and it is now 2:30. I am going to take it out of the oven very carefully because it's heavy, and I'm going to put it up here carefully on this board, and I'm going to let it set for probably an hour. I'm going to leave the foil on it so that it steams and finishes, letting all of everything do its magic and cool down a little bit before I can debone it and we can put it in the bottles. So that's what I'm doing now, and we'll come back and finish that in about an hour. Okay, so it's been about an hour since I took the turkey out of the oven, and I'm going to uncover it. It stays pretty good and seals really nice. Whew, hot still. And leave your foil right here. We're going to use it to put our bones on. Ooh, lots of juice, which is really, really great. So what I do is I don't use the skin. So any of the bones and the skin, I just kind of take off and discard. I put everything in the foil that's here. It makes it easiest for me because then I kind of package all the bones and everything up and throw it away. It's all in one little neat package. Because by the time we get done, all that's going to be left in here is the liquid, the juice from the turkey that I'm going to extend just a little bit to make sure we have plenty. And then we're going to use that liquid to actually bottle with the turkey. So just start by getting these big pieces of breast meat off because they're super hot and thick. That's part of the issue. Turkey is really easy to meat like this, to debone when it's warm. And so this is a super easy job. And it just takes a minute, literally just not a few minutes, and you will get the whole thing. Now, what I also do is the carrots and celery and onion that we stuffed inside the turkey, I actually use. And so I'm going to put at least one piece of carrot and a piece of celery and a clump of onion if I can get some out. I put one in every jar. Now, when I take it out to use it for a meal, I can discard them if I don't want. I can cut them up and add them to my gravy, or I can use a blender and blend them up into my liquid for more nutrients. And so I don't just throw them away. That just seems silly to me. So we've got these great vegetables that have roasted with this turkey. And so I have about 14 pints is what it's going to take to fill, or about a 22 pound turkey will do about 13 or 14 pints of turkey in the bottles. So I'm going to continue. Hopefully you don't need to watch me like the whole time. I'm going to just literally just take all this off, put it over here. You're basically going to where you're going to empty this entire pan. So just take things off, let it cool down as far, don't burn your fingers, but get it out of here. Try to get as many of the bones or the wishbones. Someone's going to like that. I won't throw it away. Anyway, try to get as many of the bones and the cartilage and the little tiny things out. You'll find more of them as you start filling your jars that you don't really want to have in your canned meat. Anyway, so I'm going to, let's get rid of that. I'm going to shut this off, finish filling a piece of carrot, celery, and onion in each of the pint jars, and I'm going to finish getting all the meat off, and as soon as I get done, I'll come back and show you the liquid that we're finished with. Okay, so it's taken me about, I don't know, 10 or 15 minutes to kind of get all of this turkey out of here. I'm using a slotted spoon to kind of go through the last of what's left inside of here, leaving the liquid because I want all the juice. Get the meat out and put the fat and the skin that's left in here out, so that we can use all the liquid that's in here. Okay, so we have this all done, and everything else looks pretty good. Okay, so just set that here and let it continue to just be warm, just sitting there. Now what I'm going to do is, as you can see, I put a piece of celery, carrot, and onion in each of the jars. Now I'm going to go through the process of putting a piece of turkey into each of the bottles. Now, some of these big pieces of this breast meat are so huge, you're welcome to cut them and do any of this any way you want. This is just how I do it, so you kind of have a base to kind of start thinking about how you want to do it. I only use this meat for making kind of a turkey gravy that I put over mashed potatoes or rice or noodles or something. So I don't need slices of meat. If that's what you want, then you figure out how to slice them up and put them in your bottles. I'm going to tear this meat up when I take it out and just shred it into some gravy. I'm thinking food storage. I'm thinking about what I would do to extend this. And this pint jar with probably less than a pound of meat in it actually will feed a family of 4 with some mashed potatoes, stuffing, rice, noodles, whatever you decide. So I try to get a piece of white meat into each jar, a good size of white meat, and then I fill it with the rest dark meat or a combination, but I try to at least get some form of the breast meat in each jar. I'm planning to do 14, so we'll see. So I'm starting out trying to fill 14 bottles. Sometimes I guess and I only get 12 and I'm planning on 14. So what I'll do is I'll take out the meat and the vegetables that I've put into one bottle and just use them to finish filling all the bottles. You want them to be somewhat full. You want them so that they're not wasting space. You don't want them packed to where we're not going to be able to get any liquid into them, don't get me wrong, but you do want them to be full of as much meat as possible. That's the whole point of this exercise, is so that we have enough food for our families if we had to depend on this. The nice thing about this is that this is already cooked. Of course, it's going to be cooked again, which just tenderizes it and makes it really yummy. So this is the only way I know to do turkey. I mean, I don't know how you get the turkey meat off of the turkey, at least not without a lot of hassle. So then you just continue to stuff these little bottles full. If you're lucky, you'll have a little bit left over that you can like eat. And if you want to have a dinner from this, you can always just fill 10 or 12 bottles, you know, whatever. So a 20-pound turkey will probably do you 10 pounds of actual turkey meat. Just depends on, you know, how much you want to do. If you want to do quarts, obviously it's only going to do about 5 or 6. So depends on the size of your family and what you want to accomplish with this. I'm not trying to make a Thanksgiving meal in a bottle. I'm just trying to make some yummy comfort food that my family will enjoy if times get rough and we need to eat them. Although I have to tell you, even when times aren't rough, this is one of my family's favorite go-to. Open up a bottle and I extend the gravy a little bit and chop up the meat and make some mashed potatoes or stuffing, and they think it's great. So anyway, I'm just going to continue doing this till I'm done, and then we'll go on to, it'll just take me another 5 minutes, but I'm not going to do a video that whole time. So anyway, I will finish filling my bottle. I'll be back in just a minute. The turkey meat is really greasy, so try to keep it contained, and we're going to wash off the bottles before we do anything else.